history of Bugatti is a blend of remarkable triumph and deep heartbreak. To truly understand it, we need to rewind 100 years to a small basement in Germany. There, Ettore Bugatti had just completed his car design and made the bold decision to leave his job and launch his own brand in France. Over the next few years, he created some of the fastest, most elegant cars ever built, establishing himself as one of the greatest engineers of his generation. But just as quickly, everything unraveled. Ettore lost his company, never knowing what it would become. So buckle up. This is the gripping journey of Bugatti's rise, collapse, and legendary return.
Ettore Bugatti was born on September 15, 1881, in Milan, Italy. He came from a well-off family with deep artistic roots. His father, Carlo Bugatti, was a celebrated designer of furniture and jewelry, and his grandfather had made a name as a skilled architect and sculptor. That creative spirit flowed through the family, especially in Ettore's younger brother, Rembrandt, who was just 3 years his junior. Rembrandt quickly became known as a brilliant sculptor, some even say more talented than Ettore. Historians often believe it was Rembrandt's artistic gifts that nudged Ettore in another direction. Instead of following the family path, Ettore channeled that creativity into machines. From early on, it was clear he had a knack for mechanics. Without any formal education, he quickly grasped advanced concepts. At just 16, he fixed a broken tricycle with ease, catching his father's attention. Carlo saw potential and encouraged Ettore to begin an apprenticeship at Prinetti and Stucci, a firm known for bicycles and sewing machines. Ettore joined at 17, and not long after, built a motorized tricycle powered by twin de Dion engines. His first step into the world of speed and engineering. In 1900, at just 19 years old, Ettore left Prinetti and Stucci to pursue his dream of building a car from scratch. He was naturally precise. He sketched every single part of the design, from the body to the engine, and personally oversaw the entire build. That level of detail became a constant throughout his life. His dedication and skill soon caught the eye of De Dietrich, a company with factories in both France and Germany. Despite being so young, Ettore was offered work designing cars. Because he was still a legal minor, his father had to co-sign his first professional contract. To begin the job, Ettore moved from Milan to the German town of Niederbronn-les-Bains. Over the next few years, he built his knowledge, designed new vehicles, and even entered several races. In 1903, he built a second car meant for the Paris-Madrid race, but it was so advanced in design that race officials wouldn't allow it to compete. Ettore had lowered both the engine and the driver's seat for better balance and aerodynamics, which seemed strange to others at the time. But years later, that approach became standard in race car design. By 1906, Ettore decided to leave De Dietrich. Back then, cars were handmade by master craftsmen and cost a fortune, meaning only the wealthy could afford them. In 1907, Ettore met Barbara Giuseppina Maschera, who would become his wife. That same year, he signed a new contract with Deutz, an engine manufacturer in Cologne. While working at Deutz, Ettore began building a lightweight car in his basement, one that would carry his name into history, the Bugatti Type 10. Ettore finished the Bugatti Type 10 in 1909. It had a 1.2-liter four-cylinder engine and weighed just 365 kilograms. Despite its small size, it could hit a top speed of 80 kilometers per hour, impressive for that time. After completing the car, Ettore decided to quit his job and took the vehicle on a drive to Molsheim, a town in Alsace. There, he officially founded his company, Automobiles Ettore Bugatti. Ettore became one of the first to use auto racing as a way to showcase his cars. Racing in front of large crowds boosted both his reputation and his brand's visibility, something that would soon become a widespread strategy in the car industry. That same year, 1909, was especially meaningful for him. He completed the Type 10, launched his business, and celebrated the birth of his first son, Jean Bugatti. Although the Type 10 was already ahead of its time, Ettore believed it could be made even better. The model served as the foundation for a car that would become legendary, the Bugatti Type 13. He enhanced the design by adding leaf springs to the rear and using 4 valves per cylinder, creating a 16-valve setup. The improved Type 13 delivered 30 horsepower while weighing just 300 kilograms. With this, Bugatti entered the 1911 French Grand Prix and earned second place, an incredible achievement that cemented Ettore's place among the top car designers in the world. He went on to apply the same engine design to several other models, continuing up to the Type 23. But progress soon came to a halt with the outbreak of World War I, which stopped car production altogether. As World War I dragged on, Ettore Bugatti had no choice but to leave Molsheim. He moved first to Milan and then to Paris, where between 1915 and 1916, he collaborated with the Duesenberg brothers on engine projects. During this time, Ettore proposed the innovative U16 engine, a design that combined 2 inline engines into one crankcase. Though the engine didn't reach major success, it laid the groundwork for important developments, including the overhead camshaft and the straight-8 engine, which became staples in high-performance cars. After the war ended, Ettore returned to Molsheim, which had now become part of France. Back at his plant, he continued building light, agile cars. He improved the Type 13 with a new multi-valve engine, which helped him secure wins at the 1920 Le Mans and in 1921 at the Brescia race in Italy. The car performed so well, it earned the name Bugatti Type 13 Brescia. It went on to win 3 more races that year. By 1926, more than 2,000 units had been produced, making it one of Bugatti's most successful models. In 1924, Ettore introduced the Type 35 at the Lyon Grand Prix. It became Bugatti's most victorious race car, claiming more than 1,000 wins over its lifetime. Bugatti's racing dominance continued into the 1930s, with huge milestones like 2 victories at the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1937 and 1939. The 1939 race was won by Pierre Véron, a name that would one day become legendary in Bugatti's modern history. Around this time, Ettore and his son Jean began working together on a new ambition, entering the world of luxury automobiles. 3 years after the debut of the Bugatti Royale, the US was hit by the Great Depression. The global economic downturn affected Europe too, and demand for luxury cars dropped sharply. The Royale, once a symbol of prestige, saw its sales collapse. Bugatti's finances took a hit and the company nearly went bankrupt. In the mid-1930s, the French government approached Ettore with a proposal: design and build rail cars for public transportation. With no better options, Ettore agreed, and the factory shifted focus. He oversaw the creation of 80 Bugatti railcars, helping to keep the company afloat and avoid closure during the harshest economic times. However, trouble was not over. In Molsheim, workers at the Bugatti plant went on strike, demanding higher pay and better working conditions. At first, Ettore stood firm, but eventually he gave in to the pressure. Though the strike ended, it left a rift between Ettore and his employees that never truly healed. Despite these challenges, Bugatti continued to grow in reputation. Ettore's talents extended beyond cars. He designed boats, airplane engines, and even trains capable of reaching speeds over 100 miles per hour. Meanwhile, his son Jean was stepping into a larger role. A gifted engineer like his father, Jean took on more responsibility at the company and led the development of several standout models. These included the Atlantic, the Royale, and the Type 57, which went on to win the 24 Hours of Le Mans in both 1937 and 1939. Jean seemed like the perfect successor, dedicated, brilliant, and already earning praise for his work. For Ettore, life seemed to be turning around. Business was steady, and his son was thriving. But fate had a different plan, and everything was about to change in an instant. In June 1939, Bugatti secured its second win at Le Mans in just 4 years with the Type 57G tank. Only 2 months later, Jean Bugatti took the same car out for a routine test drive, something he had done countless times before. But on this day, tragedy struck. Out of nowhere, a cyclist appeared in Jean's path. Swerving to avoid a collision, Jean lost control and crashed into a tree. He died instantly. The news devastated Ettore. He had already endured the loss of his younger brother, Rembrandt, who had taken his own life during the First World War. Losing Jean, his son and trusted partner, was a blow too painful to bear. Just weeks later, the German army invaded Alsace and seized control of the Bugatti factory. The Germans demanded that he help manufacture torpedoes and vehicles for their military. Ettore refused. Worse still, Bugatti was drowning in debt. With few options left, he reluctantly agreed to sell his company, receiving less than half of what it was worth. Ettore fled to Paris with his family and tried to distract himself with new projects, including aircraft engines and torpedo boats, but none of them found success. Even though Ettore had lived in France for most of his life, he had never applied for citizenship. So after the war, the French government refused to support him. Worse, because Italy had allied with Nazi Germany, Ettore was accused of helping the enemy and lost the lawsuit he filed to reclaim his factory. In 1944, his wife Barbara passed away, deepening his sorrow. By the time he returned to Molsheim, the factory was destroyed and his home left empty. Still, Ettore held on. He finally applied for French citizenship, hoping it would allow him to rebuild what he'd lost. By 1947, his health had declined sharply. He suffered from a lung infection and had a stroke that left him mentally incapacitated. 10 days after his company was returned to him, Ettore Bugatti passed away at the age of 66. With no one left to lead it, the company fell silent. The Bugatti plant was shut down and left abandoned, its future uncertain and its founder gone. For years, the Bugatti name lay dormant. After Ettore's death, the company ceased operations, and the once celebrated factory stood in silence. But decades later, a spark of revival appeared. In the 1980s, Italian entrepreneur Romano Artioli acquired the rights to the Bugatti brand. His dream was to restore the legacy of Ettore Bugatti and bring the name back to life. In 1987, he relaunched the brand and started development on a new vehicle. By 1991, the Bugatti EB 110 was revealed. This modern marvel was powered by a 3.5-liter V12 engine and could reach speeds of up to 213 miles per hour. The car's futuristic design and impressive performance caught the world's attention. Yet despite the excitement, financial missteps led to the company's downfall. Only 139 EB 110s were produced before Bugatti went bankrupt in 1995. The story might have ended there until Volkswagen stepped in. In 1998, the German automotive giant acquired the Bugatti brand. With vast resources and engineering power behind it, Bugatti began a new chapter. For a while, there was silence as they focused on building a car unlike any other. Then, in 2005, Bugatti released the Veyron. It was a revolution. With 1,001 horsepower and a top speed of 254 miles per hour, it became the fastest production car in the world. The Veyron remained in production until 2015, when it was succeeded by the Bugatti Chiron. With even more power and advanced technology, the Chiron pushed the limits further. In 2019, Bugatti once again shattered records. A specially tuned Chiron became the first road-legal car to break 300 miles per hour, hitting a top speed of 305 miles per hour. From a dusty basement in Germany to global fame, the Bugatti brand had been reborn. Ettore's dream lived on, faster, bolder, and more iconic than ever. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more inspiring stories of success.